government campaign against narcotics trafficking is masterminded from this headquarters of the Border Patrol Police at Mai Rim, near Chiang Mai. Here in North Thailand, the mission of the Border Patrol Police is to defend over 1,000 kilometers of border against both opium and heroin traffickers and another kind of enemy, the communist insurgents. Along highways such as this, over 400 tons of opium and heroin are smuggled annually out of Burma, through Thailand, and into the world markets. Here in Chiang Dao District, trafficking has been a way of life for years. Vehicles of all descriptions pass in steady stream down this road. Some carry narcotics. But to inspect even a significant percentage of them would hopelessly delay traffic. Instead, the Thai government concentrates on distant border areas such as this mountain hideout at Sam Dao. The BPP maintains constant surveillance over the approaches to Sam Dao, long a way station on a much-used trafficking route. This caravan, not suspected of carrying narcotics, waits while the BPP close a trap on two men known to be attempting to pack heroin on foot around Sam Dao. Opium poppies still flourish in this area despite the introduction last year of a BPP intelligence unit. This farmer has little to fear despite the 1959 ban on opium production. Thai government policy is to delay enforcement of the ban until other sources of income have been developed. These ladies are Red Lahu. They, the Mao, Yao, and Akha tribes, produce most of the opium grown in Thailand. Others, like this soldier of the Shan United Revolutionary Army, transport it. The BPP intelligence outpost at Sam Dao has a complement of 12. In October 1974, this unit learned of an opium caravan in the area, followed it, and on the 17th of October, after a firefight, seized 1,100 kilograms of opium and 60 kilograms of heroin. The main trail northward to Burma from Sam Dao is heavily traveled. Merchants smuggle consumer goods into Burma. Jade, hides, and cattle are smuggled down into Thailand. Most narcotic smugglers avoid this trail now because of the BPP outpost. But these mountains hide dozens of small branch trails over which at night opium and heroin can be transported with relative safety. The BPP attempt to maintain good relations with these people. But in the mountains, the best counsel is silence, and reliable sources of intelligence are difficult to come by. This man has a carbine, but most travelers do not carry weapons. They avoid trouble by traveling in daylight and in groups. Some have paid a tax for safe transit to General Lee's 3rd Chinese Irregular Force. Lone travelers need to beware on these trails. At this stream crossing, Bob Clark, an American youth, was robbed and killed in 1974 by 2 local youths. Each year, goods worth about $400 million are smuggled across the Thai-Burma border. From Thailand come manufactures. From Burma come hides, jade, semi-precious stones, narcotics, and a steady stream of beef cattle such as these. Mung Hang, this village, is 4 hours by trail from Sam Dao. Northward lies the BPP garrison at Mung Pok. And just 4 kilometers further north is Ping Luang, the major trafficking crossroads in this area. Over these mountains come the opium caravans out of Burma. The BPP garrison here at Mung Pok is outnumbered by the traffickers. At best, these 45 Border Patrol police can provide only basic intelligence about the drug networks. But when a drug caravan is located, Colonel Pyrote, shown here, the BPP commander in North Thailand, can organize a helicopter raid within hours. One such raid, organized by Colonel Pyrote, seized 3 tons of opium from a Kachin rebel organization in August 1973. Once Mung Pok is left behind, Thai government presence all but vanishes. The roads are vacant and strangely quiet. There are villages and schools, but passers-by are infrequent. Transportation in this valley is by motorbike or by one of two four-wheeled vehicles hauled piecemeal over the Samdao Trail by muleback. Rice lands have been left far behind. From now on, the people's livelihood depends upon smuggling of all kinds. The people here know about each other's business, but they don't talk. Narcotics caravans once traveled this road regularly in daylight hours. Since the suppression activities of the Thai police in the early 1970s, trafficking techniques have become more devious and more secretive. But the traffic does go on. Here, in Phing Luong, just 3 kilometers short of the border, live a number of well-known trafficking barons. The town itself is heavily influenced by the Shan United Revolutionary Army, or SURA, a relatively minor element, however, in the trafficking equation. SURA MPs control the streets of Phing Luong. The SURA camp dominates the high ground north of town. 200 armed SURA soldiers fall out before dawn each day, singing Shan patriotic songs, and then run in formation through the narrow alleys of this town. Each head of cattle from Burma is taxed by SURA 200 baht as it crosses into Thailand. General Lee and his 3rd Chinese Irregular Force also maintain a presence in Phing Luong. A Yunanese lady directs us to the local CIF commander, who then leads us up the mountain to the CIF encampment. In this camp live about 12 CIF veterans. They raise chickens, a few pigs, and subsist on a rice ration from General Lee's headquarters at Tam Loc. Like most CIF soldiers, their monthly pay is 50 baht. Their camp is guarded by a mud blockhouse. It is high on a ridge with a view down on the SURA camp and a sweeping panorama southward into Thailand. Here, these aging Yunanese will live out the end of their lives reasonably contented. I stayed the night with these veterans, shared their rice and vegetables, and listened to stories of the past. With at least the appearance of sincerity, they told me that General Lee had signed an agreement in 1972 with the Thai government to quit the drug traffic. Lee issued orders for the CIF to stop participation in the traffic. Since then, they said, life had become much harder. Before dawn the next day, my 2 BPP escorts and I had left Phing Luong and headed eastward on the most notorious of all trafficking routes in Thailand. The Thai Supreme Command is now surveying this route from Phing Luong through Genoi to Muang Na Dai, preparing, with AID help, to build a road directly into this trafficking heartland. Over this trail, in the past years, hundreds of tons of opium and heroin have been transported by organized groups, such as the Kachins, the Shans, and the CIF, and by scores of private entrepreneurs, mostly Yunanese. Trails in this country follow ridgelines. A trek such as this one involves a succession of steep ascents to peaks as high as 4,500 feet, with following abrupt descents. My BPP comrades were Sergeant Peachit and a BPP private. Both were veterans of these mountains. According to Peachett, no BPP had ever traversed this section of the trail. Accordingly, he spent considerable time with his maps identifying possible ambush spots and helicopter landing sites. They regularly tested radio communication with their headquarters at Mong Pok and found it usually good. The trail was almost totally deserted, a contrast with the steady traffic encountered when we left Sam Tao. The shrill singing of the jungle insects echoed loudly on that lonely trail. From time to time, Peachett identified subtrails which he believed were used by traffickers. This day, we were on the trail 10 hours and encountered just 4 people. Two Chinese boys, alone and unarmed, talked with us on their way to visit relatives in Pinglu. In early afternoon, we stopped for lunch at this stream. In an area similar to this, the BPP, with Peachett again participating, had seized 3.5 tons of Kachin opium in 1973. As the afternoon wore on, the warmth became more oppressive. At higher elevations, the air was somewhat cooler, the pines reaching above us, tall and graceful. But as soon as the trail dropped below 2,000 feet, the heat would bear down again. Some 12 hours behind us was a small caravan, identified by one of Peachett's agents during our stopover in Pinglu. Because the caravan was traveling at night, it could only be carrying narcotics. While we explored this trail, BPP headquarters was preparing an ambush for the narcotics caravan when it reached Wo Na Dai, another day's journey ahead of us. At this stream, while we rested, a party of 2 travelers caught up with us. The man, according to Peachett, was a prominent narcotics trafficker in Pinglu. His wife, shown here in traditional Yunnanese blue garb, rode horseback while her husband walked. By late afternoon, we reached Genoi. Here, the 2 CIF boys met us and escorted us past the CIF fort with its trench defenses and down the mountain to the Yunnanese section of Genoi. Our first stop was the Chinese school, supported by General Lee's 3rd Army. Instruction is in Chinese. The people here want very much to have a Thai teacher and have asked the Thai government to provide one. Surrounding the school are CIF homes. Colonel Chawan, commander of the Chiang Mai Development Unit under the Thai Supreme Command, joined us at Genoi. Here, the MDU under Colonel Chawan is helping the CIF to develop other sources of income than narcotics trafficking. 2 weeks earlier, 400,000 tea plants, mostly from Taiwan, had been planted under MDU guidance. Experiments are also being conducted in flower and vegetable seed production. Technical guidance is provided by Thai graduates of agricultural schools and through periodic visits from Chinese agricultural and tea experts. The The Thai Supreme Command will provide each CIF family with tea plants, the income from which will accrue to that family. Cash returns will not begin, however, for another 3 years at least. At sunset, Colonel Chawan returned to his base camp near Chengdao. On departure, he presented us with strawberries grown at the MDU experimental farm at Samokokwan. This experimental farm is managed by Thai agricultural experts supported by specialists from Taiwan. The next morning, we visited the older section of Genoi. Here, Yunnanese refugees have been living for over 20 years. Many are no longer involved with the CIF and have become self-supporting through agriculture or animal husbandry. The village chief is married to a Musaw Hill tribe woman and makes an adequate living through cattle raising. His greatest concern now is the lack of Thai language school for his children. Most of the houses in this section of town are built in traditional Yunnanese style. This neighbor has just completed the framework of a new home. This family, also a Yunnanese husband and Musaw wife, prefer to live off the ground, Musaw style. The old ways can be seen even in bound feet, seen among some of the older women. The importance of Genoi lies in its large area of arable land and particularly in its abundant water supply. Here, a farm lady dries vegetables, preparing to make the traditional fiery Yunnanese pickles. In the newer part of Genoi live CIF families, the menfolk of which may be soldiering with General Lee at Tam Ngop headquarters, or possibly manning caravans and CIF outposts in Burma. It is men like these and their families which the Thai Supreme Command Resettlement Program is trying to help. Among all the 11 CIF resettlement villages now being cared for by the Thai Supreme Command, only Genoi has a significant area in rice. Genoi is also the site of a red Lahu village, seen here in the midst of its New Year celebration. The village is relatively well off. Sergeant Peachett has taken pains to cultivate the Lahu here and is rewarded by them with important information on narcotics trafficking. Opium cultivation around Genoi is limited to one small plot, which produces only for local medicinal purposes. In the late morning, we said goodbye to the village chief and his wife, and helped by some of the younger people of Genoi, we took our packs and left the village boundaries. Ahead of us lay a 6-hour walk to our destination at Muang Na Dai. We had not been long on the trail when we passed a CIF officer carrying a carbine and leading a horse. He said nothing. In all probability, he had been attending a meeting known to be taking place during these few days at Lee's Tam Ngop headquarters. In its higher reaches, the trail brought sweeping views of the border area mountains. Pines grow here to heights of 150 feet and more. This old Lahu man shoots squirrels with his crossbow. Travelers other than people like this are rare. A few businessmen are met. These are packing in such necessities as kerosene for lamps. Mung Na Dai came into view in late afternoon. By now, the opium caravan, which we knew to be behind us, was only 6 hours away, heading in the same direction. Below in the valley, the BPP were already manning a network of ambush positions. On the outskirts of Mung Na Dai, we met the first BPP patrol. 6 hours after this, at midnight, at an ambush position 2 kilometers away, these BPP captured over 250 kilograms of opium from a 6-horse caravan. In Mung Na Dai are located an MDU road building office, a BPP outpost, and a school run by the BPP. The town itself is accessible by road, except during heavy rains. Population, a mixture of Yunnanese, Thai, and hill tribes. Jade, heroin, and opium pass from Burma around this village into Thailand along a network of trails. At midnight, the trap on the caravan was sprung at a stream crossing. Traffickers made their escape, but 6 horses shown here and their loads of opium were captured. 2 of the horses used by the traffickers had been wounded and subsequently had to be shot. In these packs were over 250 kilograms of opium. No identification of the group is made, although according to rumors among the local people, the caravan had been organized by a group of Muslim origin Chinese. The BPP lieutenant in charge of this operation has a distinguished record against both the communist guerrillas and the narcotics traffickers. The opium that was captured is worth this year in the neighborhood of 3,000 baht a kilogram. Later, Colonel Pairot, commander of the BPP in northern Thailand, arrived by helicopter to supervise delivery of the captured opium to provincial police headquarters. Some former Yunnanese traffickers have gotten out of the business in recent years. This one, Colonel Zhang Guoqi, once commanded his own CIF army, the 12th, which went out of business in 1969. Since then, Colonel Zhang has been cooperating with the Royal Project for Hill Tribe Development. His daughter manages a Royal Project canning factory in this village of Banyan. His 2 oldest sons go to Thai schools in Bangkok. Colonel Zhang's enterprises include potato chips, corn for feed, lychee nuts, and most recently, coffee. Zhang is fortunate. He is well educated, a graduate of the Yunnanese Military Academy. He is able and eager to absorb technical knowledge. He has the added advantage of living close to the main highway, south to Chiang Mai. He is proud of the fact that he's been able to divorce himself from his past life and, with the help of the Royal Project for Hill Tribe Development, to show the way for other former traffickers to enter into the mainstream of Thai life and to make a success of his new life. Here is a new store he intends to open. But not all CIF are so fortunate. Many of them do not speak Thai. They have a difficulty in assimilating into Thai life. The focus of the efforts of the Thai Supreme Command is to give them the training in Thai language, Thai culture and history, and also training in agriculture, which will enable them to make a living legally and lawfully, and eventually to become Thai citizens. Some 30 kilometers away from Colonel Zhang's home is the village of Mungam, also a CIF village, but this one belonging to the 5th Chinese Irregular Force of General Duan Xiguan. Access is difficult. The village can be reached only by a 2-hour boat ride, followed by a 2-hour walk. Here, fully half of the CIF veterans and their wives, mostly Hill Tribes women, are opium addicts. Most of the veterans have been retired from CIF ranks. Here, the village chief is shown with his son. Even in this tiny and remote village, the Thai Supreme Command keeps one young Thai agricultural worker who helps the local people to become interested in planting a greater variety of crops. But so far, the biggest source of extra income in isolated Mungam comes from a steady supply of tourists of all nationalities who eat lunch at a thatched roof restaurant in town and occasionally stay the night.